Welcome to your source for research, innovation, news, insights, and commentary. Welcome to your Research Business Daily Report, where we're sponsored today and this week by Nuance, offering multi-language verbatim coding services to help companies quantify the meaning of open-ended answers. Nuance, a decision analyst company. You know, when you work in the market research industry, and that's where you make your living, it's easy to lose touch with the relevance, value, and dependence of our research on companies and events in the everyday world. So here's some uplifting news about how what researchers do every day, day in and day out, how data and insights are increasingly being used by more and more stakeholders, many of them new to the use of research, plus the mountains that research is successfully scaling. Until this weekend, I'd never heard of Trian Fund Management, but it owns $1.3 billion of PepsiCo stock, and it's in the middle of a battle with that management over the future direction of the company. Trian raised the stakes in its fight last week. Now, it's been calling on PepsiCo to separate Pepsi-Cola and Frito-Lay and to run them as independent businesses for the benefit of shareholders. After Trian's white paper recently, with firm conclusions based on its own information, was disparaged by PepsiCo, Trian sent an open letter last week to the PepsiCo board designed to strengthen its case and ratchet up the pressure. And a prominent focus of that letter was Trian's reference to a plethora of market research information, and it urged the board to consider what the insights from that information mean. For instance, it said, take a look at PepsiCo consumer advertising as a percentage of sales for beverages and separately for snacks since 2005. It said PepsiCo has a dipping beverage market share versus Coca-Cola. Take a look at that. And also look at the drooping volume growth numbers that the Pepsi-Cola brand has been suffering. Then take a look at the less than stalwart market share trends that PepsiCo's Tropicana juice brand has had versus a new competitor in the marketplace, Simply Orange. And finally, look at the market share for Gatorade even after a PepsiCo rebranding campaign for the leader in that isotonic beverage category. Moving on Saturday I came across a pure example of market researchers' profile to those around us who are just doing their jobs. We've all read about the ignition switch safety scandal that General Motors is currently embroiled in. Chicago Tribune business writers Jerry Hirsch and David Underkoffler addressed potential consumer backlash from all that bad publicity. Now, undoubtedly, the automaker is getting reports from its dealers about what's going on in the field. Plus, I'm sure there's an 800 inbound service that is probably collecting consumer impressions galore. And I'd be very surprised if GM isn't conducting intensive research to see what consumers are thinking and saying these days. But the reporters noted how Kelley Blue Book searches for traffic about GM car searches, which is available to everyone, is not raising any red flags so far. Ditto for Edmunds.com, which, by the way, is so far showing steady consumer interest in GM vehicle research. Closing today, Nelson Davis let us know over the weekend about the death of Glenn Weissman. Davis described Weissman as, quote, not a big shot. Most people probably never heard of him, he said, and he was in the field for 35 years. Weissman's last employer was Ebony Marketing Systems, for whom he served as VP Business Development. His LinkedIn profile showed that he worked for Schlesinger Associates between 1989 and 1992, and he also worked for the Roper Organization. Our condolences to the Weissman family. That's your Research Business Daily Report, sponsored by Nuance, offering multi-language verbatim coding services to help companies quantify the meaning of open-ended answers. Nuance, a decision analyst company. We've got a link for you to find out more about Nuance. It's both in our letter that goes to our email subscribers and in the content box directly beneath today's video. So click on it and take a look. In the meantime, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.